The black swan, a really iconic Australian species. A bird of the wetlands, of the rivers and the swamps. A bird of the coast. A bird of the big estuarine lake systems of southeast Victoria. And this bird feeds on the seagrasses and the food of these lakes. But every now and again, like now, after massive fires followed by floods, something's crook with the lakes. The shellfish are dying, their dead shells littering the beach. Mussels that have lived for 70 years this time have died, surrounded by their smaller neighbours and mussels of different species that once lived on the seagrass beds. The seagrass beds that have disappeared too. Now McLeod's Morass, a wildlife reserve just outside of Bairnsdale in Victoria, is the home for lots of water birds. And it's also adjacent to farms on which swans have begun feeding in the lucerne paddocks. Now you'd think the solution to this would be to move them on, to use dogs, to use scarers, to try anything. But no, the Department of Sustainability and Environment doesn't want to deal with animals. It issued permits for them to be shot. They issued 2 lots of permits, each for 20 birds. This is in 2008. It's absolutely appalling that a department can't use its brains, can't pool its own resources, can't talk to people locally in its own department, in water boards, on airports, in the kinds of places they need to shift birds of prey, and find some solution other than just issuing a permit to have them shot. And the shooting doesn't work anyway. There was many swans, if not more, on the same paddock within days of this cull. And that seems to be the operative word. This Department of Sustainability and Environment, so inaptly named, is under the auspice of Gavin Jennings, the Minister for Conservation. He hasn't had a word to say about this swan cull. Well, maybe it's time he got his department together. And maybe it's time that perhaps we help them, because there are alternatives out there to killing animals that stray onto farmland. And we do have a responsibility to look after the environment they live in. And it seems a bit rough to issue permits to cull them because we have failed to live up to our expectations and responsibilities. There are alternatives. It just requires a little bit of intelligence to find them. Now, swans aren't the only species that are in trouble in southeast Australia, particularly in Victoria. Licences to kill and control thousands of endangered and otherwise protected, much-loved Australian species have been issued by the state government. Emus, kookaburras, wombats and wallabies, all these kinds of animals are being killed by farmers and landowners because they rang up the department and asked, what can I do with the problem? And rather than addressing the problem, they've simply issued a permit to kill, denied the responsibility, as if they feel in some way they'll be liable. Well, they can do a better job. Please, leave a comment, any help you can give us, any information in the box at the bottom of this video.